What's going on? Peace to everybody. This is another brief video on numerology. All right, here to talk about the cycles, dealing with personal years, personal months, personal days. Now, for those who are familiar with it, you're like, okay, what's new? What's so significant? If you haven't been actively practicing that to for predictive purposes, or at least get into the habit of peeping out trends, then this is something that I would encourage you to partake in and to view. I encourage everyone to start doing your own calendars, where you take your numbers of your birthday and with the current year, month, and a day, and to look at the cycles you in. I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis of what has occurred for me in the past couple of days. Yesterday I was in a 3. 3 is for joyful expression. It's kind of like a fun day. It's kind of like a day to just, you know what I'm saying, to just express yourself and do you, be you. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, things real chill right now. And everything in my environment is on lock. Like, for anything to go wrong, it has to be something that I had overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Or error on my part. So I'm like, okay, everything's locked down, you know what I'm saying? I took the time, I straightened up everything in the crib. Everything, is organized right now. I'm ready to go. I know the next day will be a busy day coming into the 4. We'll be, getting the structure down, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be physically active because my physical number is a 4. You feel what I'm saying? My physical number, and if you know what I'm saying, when I start breaking down the way I deal with numerology, then I'm gonna explain the different aspects pertaining, because the way I deal with it is way more than just your core 5 numbers or your, the way they typically do it in numerology. I take it a step further. Because I like to be precise in my delineation. I want to be able to, pinpoint. It gets crazy like that. So, my physical number is a 4. So I took that, like, okay, I'm gonna be more active tomorrow, more inclined to getting work done, more inclined to working. And this morning, my mother screaming at the top of her head, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? She said she spotted she said, wait for this car. She said she had spotted a mouse in the house. And I'm like, damn. After we didn't, you know what I'm saying, cause we just moved in, but when we first moved in the house, we had seen signs that, okay, it might be a little, some mice may have been. I don't know what the other tenants was on before we showed up, or how they was living. They might have been living, savage or whatever. But we seen the remnants on what looked like to be, you know what I'm saying, mice. But we had, made sure everything was cleaned up, everything was on point. And she spotted that, and immediately, it's a whole list of things that we all have to get into now, just to make sure that this doesn't become a problem. So we spent today, out in the yard, getting a lot of physical work done. You know what I'm saying? 4 is all about work, but 4 can also be the negative. See, you have the positive and the negative expression. And so the positive expression is getting things organized, getting details down, coming up with your plan of actions. But the negative is controlling judging, or too rigid, or just lazy. And I kind of felt that because I'm like, man, I don't feel like dealing with this, you know what I'm saying? But I did it anyway, because in my mind I'm thinking, if I express the negative, then the effects I receive back is going to be negative. It's going to reverberate into disharmony, and I'm all about keeping things in harmony. You know what I'm saying? A good way for us brothers to keep harmony is to make sure we do everything in our power to keep the women in our life happy. You know what I'm saying? It's my mother and my sister here. You know what I'm saying? My brother's here. And it's us. And I'm all about keeping the women in my crib happy. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be chill. I want them waking up screaming about, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather just get the stuff done, get it over with, and keep it moving. Because when the women are happy, everybody's happy. You know what I'm saying? So it's simple math. And that's what I deal with. I deal with the math. And so I go, I do the work. And the thought came across my mind. I'm like, okay, it would be in my best interest to get everything done today, because tomorrow I'm going into that 5. And I don't know about y'all, if y'all deal with y'all calendars, every time the 5 pops up, at least for me, it's always something going on that just throws things off, something unexpected. You know what I'm saying? I have Crohn's. Ulcerative colitis, technically. I say Crohn's because it sounds more legit, but I have Crohn's disease, and I recently went through a flare, but things is, chilling now. People want to say it's a diet thing. It's a lot more than diet. I know with me, because I've been through all that already. People tell you I fasted, went vegan, all that, the whole 9. And which I encourage everybody to eat a healthy lifestyle. But for me, and that's what I wrote on my Facebook, I said veganism doesn't heal character. So even though, and people, am I still recording? Okay, yeah, people who become conscious or woke, it's like this. It's like you was already stressed out before you was woke, because you trying to find the answers. Once you learn about the true nature of the world and your place in the world, and how messed up things are in the world, that only adds more stress. So we got people who teach us to be more stressed, but they don't teach us how to deal with that stress. You feel what I'm saying? So you went from stressing about you and where you fit in the world to stressing about your obligation to not only just you and your family, but to your people, your obligation to humanity. You feel what I'm saying? That's a huge burden to bear. You know what I'm saying? And then we're hit with the narrative of the Christ-like people. You know what I'm saying? So that just adds on to more stress. And with me, I grew up with anger issues. People tell me I got ADHD. They trying to send me to the folks to sit and talk with them. You know what I'm saying? A stressful childhood, a good childhood, a fun childhood, but it had a lot of, and I had to deal with a lot of health problems all my life, and Crohn's just particularly something I've been dealing with for 8 to 9 years now. And stress is a big thing. So, and I say that to say, because I don't want to lose focus on what the main topic is with the numbers. When that 5 hit, something happens, and so I want to make sure I'm on point, that I'm not doing anything today that's going to affect anything tomorrow. I was about to come out here and cut this backyard, And see, I'm like, okay, after all the work I done did today, maybe we could put off a wait one more day to do the yard. But I'm like, it's a 5. I'm like, shit. Tomorrow I might come out and the damn lawnmower might break down on my ass unexpectedly. You feel what I'm saying? I might, you know, anything could happen. So I want to make sure I get my stuff done today and be mentally prepared for what may go on tomorrow. 5 is also a day, you know, where things get promoted. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I tore, you know what I'm saying? I tore it up on a 5 day. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know what I'm talking about. But it's a day of risk, of doing, you know what I'm saying, a step in, you know, taking that extra step where no man might not dare step. It's a day of speculation too. And in those regards, you just have to base it off of you. Do you know yourself well enough? I know me. So I know, you know what I'm saying? I check myself regularly. And that's what I encourage everybody to do when it comes to looking at your cycles. You look at the cycles, you understand the basic principles, the basic inclinations, and then you go from there. You judge based off of the thoughts you having, because everything that you got going on in here, you project that. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. So yeah, that's my bill for the day. Everybody enjoy your week. Well, tomorrow's Friday, so prepare to enjoy your weekend. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to, I'm not stepping out the house tomorrow, so I won't step out the house no way. Not on no 5 day. Not for me. 5 days be messing me up. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. Take care, everybody.